Hey everybody, it's Lindsay, and I wanted to make this video to talk about my trip to Italy back in July. Myself and Ryan's family and some other people that we know all went for a week, and it was amazing. We had an amazing time. It was just so much fun, such a great experience, and something completely different from what I'm used to, so I loved it. I loved every minute of it. So I wanted to talk about it a little bit, and I feel like this video is probably going to be all over the place because I don't know, how do you sum up a trip to Italy? How do you sum up Italy? But I guess I'll just talk about where all we went. We were, start to end, it was a 9-day trip, but 2 of those days were just completely travel days, so not even spent in Italy really. We left from Philadelphia airport. Our flight left at 6:30. And we arrived in Venice. It was a direct flight, which was so nice, at 9 a.m. their time. So they are 6 hours ahead of us. Am I saying that right? Yeah, I think I'm saying that right. So it was like a 9-hour flight on the way there, 10-hour flight on the way back. So it was a long flight. So on the way there, it was kind of hard because we had to sleep. That was our nighttime, because when we arrived in Italy, it was 9 a.m., like ready to go. But it was really nice. They had movies playing the whole time and it was dark, so we all just kind of like snuggled in and we did get some sleep. And I didn't feel like it hit me too hard. I mean, I was really worried that the time difference would really make me just groggy during the day, but everybody said don't fall asleep when you get there because then you'll be off the whole time. So we didn't. We stayed up the whole day. And yeah, it just was kind of fun. We didn't get a lot of sleep. To me, a vacation is like, I want to do whatever the heck I want to do. If I want to sleep in, I'm going to sleep in. If I want to lay around, but you don't go to Italy to lay around. Like, you have limited time and you want to see it while you're there because you're not going to be back, you know, 3 months from now. So it was a lot of like go, go, go and see a lot. And we stayed out late and got up early, and I wouldn't have had it any other way because you want to get it all in. But it wasn't like a relaxing kind of vacation like what I'm normally used to. So we arrived in Venice. We spent 2 nights in Venice. Venice is gorgeous. I mean, just all the canals and the buildings are just, it's like out of a whole nother time period. Here in the United States, I feel like we don't have anything, well, I know we don't have anything even nearly that old. The United States is just a very young country compared to the countries in Europe and things. So it was beautiful. Ryan and I took a gondola ride, which is just something you have to do. And it was actually a lot more amazing than I thought it was going to be. Our gondolier, as he's called, was singing to us and telling us, it was just kind of getting like the other side of Venice, because he takes you down the water alleys where you can't walk, and it's talking about the different buildings and things like that. So that was a really neat experience. We ate at restaurants right along the canal. It was just so beautiful. So we spent 2 days in Venice, and honestly that was enough. Like, I loved Venice, it was awesome, but I feel like it was actually kind of small. Like, we walked back and forth and back and forth and back and forth so many times, and I feel like we just walked the same streets again and again and again. And it was and people told me this, it was very touristy. So like lots of shops selling, like all these different shops selling the same exact things. And it was very busy. And that's not me putting it down at all. It was just like 2 days I feel like we saw what we wanted to see there, and that was enough. So then from there, we went to Ebony, which is probably, I think it was like a 30-minute train ride from Venice. And this was half vacation, half business trip for Ryan's family. And so the reason the business they were doing was in Ebony. So we spent 2 days there. And Ebony is like a European spa town. I can tell it was definitely a vacation spot for Europeans. The hotel we stayed at was amazing. Just like a resort spa type thing with 3 different pools. And Ebony is known for its hot springs and its like mud baths and things. So while the guys were kind of out doing their business related things, I got a body scrub, a massage. It was amazing. Very European, I will say. The body scrub was very comprehensive. I'll just leave it at that. Not what I was used to, which was fine. I mean, it was just very different from things you get here in the United States. But yeah, that was really nice, really charming town. Like lots of little shops and things. And I ended up buying a leather jacket there, which I'll show. So that's kind of what we did. I feel like Abano was the most relaxing part because it wasn't like there was as much to see as some of the other cities. So the company they were with took us to a dinner up on this like mountaintop, and I'll add a picture, or I'm gonna add actually an album on my Facebook page. So if you have Facebook, my thing is linked below. You can check, I'll put up tons of pictures on Facebook. But the view was just incredible. I mean, it was so high, and they said on a clear day you can see Venice, and it was like just 100% Italian restaurant. Nobody spoke English. It was definitely not a touristy spot, which I love. Like, I love feeling like I'm getting a different experience than everybody gets. And so the people who were with us were, like, you know, they are Italian, so they ordered for us, and that was the most amazing part. Is I am not a picky eater, but I loved not having to look at the menu and try and kind of figure out what it is and what I would like, because I'm gonna like pretty much anything. So they just ordered for us and just brought us course after course after course, and it was just most beautiful view, most amazing food, delicious wine, and they just keep pouring the wine and walking around. And so that was an amazing experience. And then from Abano, we went to Florence. And I was so excited for Florence because everybody kept saying Florence is the best, you're gonna love Florence, and it was the best. I mean, I loved all of it, but Florence was very much more metropolitan. It's gigantic. I feel like you could live there for years and not see it all. So we did a lot of walking. We went to the museum where Michelangelo's David, that was actually amazing. I mean, I like looking at art and things. I'm not an art buff by any means, but I thought it would be neat. But when you get there, you just realize like how incredible it is. And so that was really neat to see. And we saw like all the major touristy things. The best thing we did the whole trip of Italy, and I would recommend this to anybody who thinks they would enjoy this, while in Florence, we rented scooters, which are not like razor scooters, like mopeds, but they call them scooters. And you don't need, for the ones we got, you don't need a motorcycle license. For two of the other guys that were with us, they have motorcycle licenses, so they got bigger ones. And we drove to Siena. We rode to Siena for the day. And we were told it was an hour-and-a-half trip, and it ended up taking us 4 hours to get there because I think we were following signs, but I think we took the complete longest way possible. But it was the most amazing thing we did. I can't even tell you how incredibly beautiful it was. I have never in my life seen a more beautiful setting. It's in the Tuscany region. So we're riding there and we're on top of a mountain. At one point we're in this road that's on top of a mountain, and you can look from side to side and you can see for miles, and it's just tons of these mountains, and it's not like farmland what I'm used to, like cornfields, soybeans. It was lots of smaller plots, so it made it just look so like a patchwork quilt. And it was olive groves and vineyards and these Tuscan farmhouses, and on top of a mountain there would be just this mansion, like a castle looking, and it was just so beautiful. I've just never seen anything more beautiful, and it was like literally taking my breath away. So I was trying to film while riding, so if I haven't even looked at my film from Italy yet. If I got a good shot filming, I will include it at the end of this video because it was just amazing. And just know that being there in person was a million times better than any video is gonna show. It was just amazing. And we actually saw castles along the way, which was just so cool. Like, I feel like we kind of thought, we were like, what is this hidden castle? We've discovered something. So we pull in, and here it's a major tourist stop and there's all these people there. But it was just neat that we kind of discovered it on our own. It wasn't like we were going to see that. We were driving to Siena and we saw this castle, so we stopped and we walked around, and then, so by the time we got to Siena, it took us so long to get there, we didn't even get off our scooters at all. We did not even have time to walk around Siena at all, so we kind of drove around it a couple times and then started heading back before it got dark. And it was dark by the time we got home. I could have ridden that scooter 24 hours. I mean, it was so fun and so beautiful. And the most amazing part about Italy's roads are that they don't have red lights, which is amazing. I know I'm saying amazing a lot, but one of the guys who was with us travels to Italy all the time. And so he said that, I guess several years ago, they got rid of all of the red lights and put in roundabouts, which is so nice because you never have to really stop. Like, it just keeps traffic going. And I just have to say another thing. Italian drivers are amazing. I mean, it is aggressive, it's fast, but people drive so much better than they do around here. I mean, nobody is hanging out in the left lane, going 10 miles an hour while everyone else is passing. You know what I mean? Like people, they get over to the left lane to pass, get back into the right. People, you just kind of go where you can. It's crazy. It's like crazier than what we're used to here, but I mean, we didn't see any accidents and things just moved. Like I feel like people were much more aware of other people. Like they got in and then got back out. They weren't just cruising and hanging out and making stupid turns. And I mean, I spent a week there, so it's not like I know everything, but can you tell I have a pet peeve about driving? It was just amazing. So that was an awesome part of it. So then a couple of the things, so yeah, so then, okay, so we were in Florence, then we went back to Venice just for the night, just to fly out to come back home. So if I had to do it all over again, I would have loved to see Rome. I would have loved to spend more time at each place, except for Venice. Probably 2 days was enough there. But that's how it was, and we just had a great trip, so I'm so thankful for that opportunity. It was such a blessing to be able to go. A couple of things, hot, hot, hot. We went mid-July, so hot, so hot. And I was all concerned, like I made that video before asking for advice, I was all concerned that I would stick out as a tourist, which obviously I did, I am a tourist. But you know, people say that they dress so much nicer and everything. So I took like nice clothes. I mean, I took shorts and things, but I took silk blouses and lots of dresses. Heck no, I didn't want to wear any of that. I mean, like my shorter dresses I did, but it was mid-90s and so humid, and looking around, it was tourist city. So I did not stick out wearing a cotton t-shirt and shorts at all. And that's what I wore, because who wants to wear silk when it's 95 degrees outside? I mean, it just, you walk outside and it's like, you just feel disgusting. So that was one thing that was kind of like, if I had to go again, I would never go in July, because it was, you do so much outside, and even when you're inside, their air conditioning is not like what we're used to. So I would go in a cooler time, because I just feel like you could enjoy being outside and sightseeing more if you're not covered in sweat and feeling like a pig. But I will show you a couple of the things I got. I didn't get much. I thought I would do a lot of shopping because I was in a different country and I would see all these things, but we were constantly moving, and we were with a lot of guys. So you know how it is with guys. They walk into a store, they're in there for 30 seconds, they walk right back out. So I don't feel like we like, oh, this afternoon we're going shopping. And I didn't see a lot that I like had to have. I got a couple pieces that I really like, and I'm happy with that. And things were expensive. I mean, the euro it definitely is lower than it was, but it's still higher than the dollar. So things were kind of expensive. So I only got a couple things, but what I got, I loved. And the first thing I got was a leather jacket, which I knew I wanted. Here, I'll put it on. I wanted like a black motorcycle jacket, and here, I'll kind of back up here. This is what it looks like. So it's not cropped, but it's not long either. I just love it. I'm so excited for fall to wear this, because I wear my brown one like to death. So I love this. I got this in Ebony, and it's just so soft and so nice. So I can't wait to wear that. I'll have to get some black boots to wear with it. And then I picked up, where did I put my bracelets? Oh, I picked up 2 bracelets. This one I got in Florence. I just like a little street fair, and it was €2, so dirt cheap. It's just a really cute leather bracelet, and I can tell I'm gonna wear this a lot. I've already worn it so many times. I love it. And then this bracelet I got in Venice, so I got something from every city. That's neat. Okay, so my memory card filled up in the middle of this, so I had to go delete some stuff, so I will just pick up where I think I left off. I was talking about this bracelet. I picked this up in Venice, and it's just a double wrap nude leather bracelet with these kind of metal studs, and I just thought it was kind of different, and I mean, nothing that screams Italy at all, but I just liked it, so I picked that up. That was just at like a little boutique type shop. We brought some wine home, which was really neat because it was wine that we were drinking in some of the restaurants. So it's just nice to have the wine that we were drinking with the memory and everything. And I brought home some olive oil and different things like that. So that was, we didn't get a lot. And Ryan got a jacket, which is really nice, a leather jacket. But I mean, I'm very happy with what I got, and I love what I got, so that's fine. Something else I wanted to show you, just I guess some little trip tips for travel, not Italy specific necessarily, but this was, I normally take my train case with me for my makeup traveling, and I put my jewelry and everything in there. That's just so bulky that flying, it just doesn't really make sense, and it didn't make sense for this. So I picked up this makeup bag from Target, and you can see like it's a good size, and it zips closed. But when you open it, it has like these two big panels and then like this middle section, and it almost reminds me of kind of like a pencil case or something from elementary school. But this was so nice, and I will use this for every vacation from now on. So one side, it's kind of mesh, and then the other one is plastic. One side of these big sides, and you can fit a lot in here. One side, I put kind of all eye makeup things. Primers, my palettes, like I fit Naked palette, my big Stila palette. I fit a bunch of stuff in here. Mascaras, eyeliners, all those kinds of things. And then the other side I put face stuff, concealers, powders, foundations. And then in the middle I put, I mean, it's flat, but it fit lipsticks, lip liners, just random other things like Q-tips and things. And then it all zipped up, and this was so nice. I put this in my carry-on because I didn't want it getting like totally beaten up and smashed. And yeah, so it was great. So I didn't put anything in here. I guess I didn't put too many I didn't put any foundations in here because then that's liquid and that gets into the whole flying with liquids thing. But all my other face powders and blushes and all that kind of stuff. So nice. This was like, I got at Target. It was 20 bucks. And I was kind of like, oh, 20 bucks is a little bit, it's kind of a lot for a makeup bag. But this was so big and so nice and versatile, but it really keeps everything streamlined. So I love that. I would highly recommend, ooh, that was loud. I would highly recommend picking up something like that if you're traveling. The other thing, I took a couple of notes here so I remember. The other thing is their voltage and plugs are obviously different. So I took my flat iron, which I don't even use a flat iron, but I just didn't know if because of, I don't know how the blow dryer was gonna react or anything. I just didn't know if I was gonna need a flat iron if my hair was gonna be frizz city, which I didn't. Well, actually I did use it. I used it to kind of flip my hair under. I took my big, like 2-inch or 2.5-inch curling iron. I took a thinner curling iron and my blow dryer. So I took my blow dryer because every hotel I was told has blow dryers like in the wall installed, and they did, but I heard they were crap, and some of them were like really crappy. The one was like, looked like a vacuum hose, and it was like did not blow dry my hair, but I mean, it's what I had to use because my blow dryer didn't end up working. It says, I bought it because it says it was dual voltage, but you're supposed to be able to like turn a little knob so that, you know, one for our voltage and one for the other, and that didn't work. So I just had to use the blow dryers that were in the hotels. And that's another thing to think about. I didn't realize this at first. The plug itself is different. Like, here, let me grab one. This plug is shaped different in Italy. So you need a converter for that if you want to use your appliances from here. But you also need a voltage converter unless your products are dual voltage, which not everything, I didn't know. Like my Hot Tools curling iron, not dual voltage. I had a voltage converter that I borrowed from a girlfriend, did not work. This like got real hot and then shut off, and I freaked out. Like I was afraid this would ruin it, and it didn't. It's fine. And the blow dryer, like I turned on the blow dryer with the voltage converter, and it was like it just kept getting louder, so I just shut that off. But this curling iron, my Gilbert, did I take this? I can't even remember anymore. My flat iron is dual voltage, so that worked fine. I just needed the plug converter. So that's something to consider. Try and have just all your appliances be dual voltage if you travel at all to and from Europe. Another thing, sunscreen. I know I mentioned this in my favorites. I use that Neutrogena sunscreen. Wear sunscreen because you're outside so much, and I love that one for under my skin, under my makeup, because it was really light and it didn't like make me greasy or oily throughout the day. Oh, my phone's ringing. The other thing that, it's just, this has nothing to do with beauty or traveling, but it was just so different about Italy, is that like the whole water situation. They drink pretty much all bottled water, and I'm just so not used to that. I am a water freak. I drink so much water. I like chug it. And I am not a water snob. I will drink tap water from anywhere, unless it like really tastes weird. I don't care. Like I like tap water. I like free water. But they drink the water in the glass bottles. They have the sparkling, and then they have the flat. So it was just so different from us because they have you know, they have the wine glass sitting on the table, and it's a huge wine glass, and then they have your water glass, and it's like this big. And they come and they bring you this bottle, like one bottle for the table, and you all get a little bit. And I'm like, where is the water? Because you're so hot, you're sweating all day. I just want to chug water. So they kind of thought we were crazy because we just like we're like, bring on the water. We just kept ordering bottles of water. So that was so different. Like, I guess, and everywhere we went, it was like that. They just do not drink water, I guess, like we do at the meal, which was very different for me. So I think that's kind of all I had to say about this. This was all over the place. This is a very long video. But please, if you have questions, I'm happy to help you with what I know. I mean, I spent a week in Italy. I'm certainly no expert. I can only say from my experience, this is what, you know, I can recommend, and what my little tips were, and just kind of what we did and what we thought was fun. So yeah, but if you have questions, I'm happy to help you as best as I can. But let me know what your experiences have been if you went to Italy. And I also wanted to give you a huge, huge thanks. Everybody who commented in my last video where I asked for advice, it was so helpful to just get so much advice from people who have experience with it, because going to a foreign country is just a totally new experience for me. I mean, a European country. So I was very thankful for all of your advice. And yeah, so that's about it. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. See you, everybody.